feud that that will occur, has occurred? Or are we talking about presidential nonsense, as there's a lot of that we just discussed? I don't really know.
Where do you want to take it this week?
Dude, we can take it anywhere. The world is your oyster.
Should we just jump off the edge?
Which is a strange...
Should we scare people?
You want me to just say the N-word right now? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But...
Hey, so, what's today? Today's another day,
Today's
man.
Monday. Actually, we are in celebration of the federal holiday, MLK.
MLK.
Yeah.
Hey, so for MLK Day, let's get a little controversial. Let's not go too crazy, though.
Not too crazy.
Not too crazy.
Not Germ Zero Ray crazy, but like regular crazy.
So, hey, welcome to TheSagaPod. The boys are back. This is episode 2. Don't know what we're going to call this yet, but we're going to turn up the ante a little bit this week.
I think the names of the episodes are derived from whatever 40-minute segment we'll find a thing, you know.
Yeah, we'll just pick something. Somebody's going to say something. Yeah. Between the two of us, someone's going to say something.
The title of the podcast should be like, why do people drink out of mason jars? And then you'll be like, where is this?
You were very live hard, die hard last week.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy.
It's still true. I still do that. Not really. My life's pretty easy.
Yeah. I think just to give a little synopsis of what that was, the Brooklyn 5 situation was there was 5 black kids. They were, I think they were downtown New York, just hanging out, and accusation was made, they were all stuck. Because, again, you gotta think about, like, the court system. It wasn't like, hey, you guys are criminals, now you're going to prison. It was like, you guys are in prison because we suspect you and you're now awaiting a court date. So you're stuck in prison, not because you've been found guilty. You're stuck in prison.
They were in jail. They were in Rikers, probably.
You're stuck here now because you're awaiting a court date.
Yeah, because you can't, you know.
And it's like, we're gonna keep pushing back the court date.
Bail is set at $100,000. Like, okay, well, fucking great, like, have fun paying. Like, you know, a bail bondsman's like still 10%, so like if it's 10% of 100,000, you still gotta come up with 10,000. Who the fuck's doing that? So, alright, yeah.
But yeah, that's what that was about.
My whole point of that, or the question I posed, and this is not to, you know, say anything about that woman or those dudes or what really happened or what didn't, because I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know if I was even alive, really. I wasn't born until 94, so who the fuck, right? But my point is like, we have these two narratives. You have to draw a hard line now, because in America you've got to be like one side or the other, and you have to hate the other side. That's what, you know.
I think that's really a really great transition from where we left off last podcast. Like, we could be friends, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah, you
could. Like, you either gotta hate or be hated.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is like, so do we believe all women, or do Black Lives Matter? Because in this case, if you know, again, obviously two things.
It's a really strong.
Two things can be true.
That's a really strong point, actually.
But the point, the thing is like, you know, you'll get called a piece of shit if you draw into question the validity of claims by certain people who may or may not have been victims of sexual violence. You know, if you simply go, well, hold on, let's maybe not. We don't know yet, so I'm not gonna pick a side. Whoa, you can't do that. You can't do that anymore. Which is like the logical thing to do. It was like when I'm trying to think of who the
for accusations, I believe 40% are always true. So if you got like
you pull that number out, or is that like a basic?
No, that's how I personally feel. There's a little thing going on social media right now. The R&B singer Trey Songz. Seems like once a week,
he's in trouble?
Every 2 weeks, another one was coming out accusing him of having done the hard R word to him. And me, myself, being that, you know, I know how the world kind of works, you know, people will find opportunities to do shady shit for money.
Of course.
I think some of them are liars, but I also don't think that he is innocent. So I believe that there are 40% of most people, because I don't think it's a 50-50 split. I think 40% of most people that make those accusations are making those accusations because it happened. The other 60% are just jumping on the bandwagon to get money.
That's actually,
and that's not to like.
It's actually a more bleak outlook on humanity to assume that more than half are just looking for attention. Or
the reason I feel that way is because we're in such a like clout industry right now. Like the world itself is based on how big can you push narrative. But I do. It's not to take away from actual victims.
Yeah.
I do believe there are actual victims. I just believe the problem those victims are going to face is that they're going to have so many other people jumping in just to be a part of it and feel like a collective that is going to water down the actual truth of what happened to them. And I feel bad for them in that sense. Because how do you tell the truth about something bad that happened to you, but then also face the judgment of it because people aren't going to believe you off rip, but then face the judgment when like other people on your side are also found out to be liars. And I believe that's true about all cases. I don't think that that's just like a woman male thing. I think dudes groupie out the same way.
Probably. I mean, if I, there's probably quite a few single dudes that, I don't know, name Ariana Grande.
I mean, just like, think about it in your lifetime. How many times has like
even
a dude or whatever that you thought you was homies with like badmouthed you behind your back, and then you find out like 60% more of the people you was messing with is on that bandwagon, and for no real reason. It's like,
so what? Hang on, this is a confusing thing because I don't follow these famous people trends and the shit that goes on, or at least I try not to. So I'm just too busy. It's a weird thing, but if you thought, I've been thinking that he said a word he's allowed to say, because as we know,
this is good.
See?
That's fucking funny.
Well, just. You had me confused for a minute.
Okay,
no,
I picked that up halfway through.
So and again, this is like it happened to Trump. It's happened to a lot of guys, right? Like people brought this up. This is a bullshit argument, by the way. I don't condone this as like as a defense. But if you look at the women who admit to having sex with Donald Trump and what they look like compared to the women who accuse him of hard R-ing them, right? You go, that seems kind of weird. Not to say he didn't do it.
That's why I have 40%.
But it seems weird. But it's like the thing with Trey Songz, right? If I'm remembering correctly what he looks like, he is an athletic dude, has lots of money, very successful individual. There's probably a lot of women that would be like, he could probably run into the issue Drake's running into right now. I did hear about that one.
That's why I have a 40% rule.
So you think maybe he did it though?
I think there's a strong chance.
Okay.
Because I also think that with celebrity comes a lot of the bullshit, and a lot of people fall prey to it. But I ain't gonna stick on this too long, man.
It's possible.
I'm not gonna stick on this too long because this one's one of those sour topics.
No.
But I say all of that to ask this because you brought up a really good point with the do we believe all women, and also with the history of women making very hard accusations against black men. Again, I'm not condoning the ones that we just brought up because we do think in most of these cases these guys could potentially be pieces of shit. But in the history of it, how many black men have been found innocent? I gotta ask, how do you feel about this like current modern day like social media, YouTube, like alpha male movement that's going on? And they got like multiple layers I want to ask you about. One, does an alpha male actually exist? Is there a such thing as alpha male, bro? And I'm telling you why I don't believe there is.
So, I mean, on the one hand, like, yeah, in nature the alpha male exists because that's the dude that gets to fuck everybody and has all the food and all, right? Like
resources.
Kicking it back, right? Yeah, resources. But then again, like, now in today's modern age, what one woman considers to be the ideal male is not the same as what every other woman considers. Obviously, there's the commonalities of like confidence, hygiene, success. I'm not gonna say money necessarily, but I will say success because it's not purely
to resources.
It's not purely about the money necessarily, but it's the fact that like Like a woman might be interested in you, not because you have a bunch of money. It's not that she's after your money. It's that you have that money for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's what's attractive about you. But at the same time, there's women that are into, 140-pound dudes with purple hair that don't really. Imagine like a guy built like, great example. How was Pete Davidson fucking so many bitches? What? Look at him.
Hey,
look at
personality, bro. Personality.
Well, yeah, but it still doesn't make sense.
Pete funny as hell.
I mean, I don't think he's like 100% funny. I think he said some funny things, but at the same time,
I think he's funnier, and I think he's funnier when he's not trying to be funny.
Maybe
he's funny because there's a bit of depression that we all connect with.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
His stand-up isn't always.
It's not that great. The stand-up's also really hard.
But like just him being himself is hilarious.
Yeah, like I've had people describe me as like a funny guy, and I think you're a funny guy. But at the same time, I think if you put us on stage with a microphone,
No, I was just talking to E about this.
Yeah,
she was like, "I think you're funny." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not like I can write jokes funny." I'm like,
it's different.
If you just see me being myself, it's fucking funny because
yeah, and if you're hanging out with me, it's funny because like there's stuff about me you can laugh at, but like it's not the same.
It's like I'm not trying to be funny; it just happens, and I've accepted it.
I can't get up on stage and be like, "Oh, what's to do with airports?" Like that's not a thing. But yeah, no, like to your point though, the alpha male thing. Yes, but the definition of alpha male differs between every single person. So, by virtue of that, no.
Here's why I don't think alpha males exist in humanity. For one, if we went by the actual like rules of alpha male theory, based on like the animal kingdom, two alpha males can't exist at the same time in a single pack, right? So like, let's say you're an alpha male and I'm an alpha male. We got to fight right now.
Yeah, one of us.
We can't even be friends.
One of us has to die.
Somebody has to beta the other one.
Yeah,
like
rules.
So it's like that can't really be a thing in humanity because we don't apply that.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like weird about this whole like, if you watch YouTube and stuff, everybody's got like these alpha male channels and they're like, oh, we are alpha males and like blah 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 blah. It's like, well, how are you all in the same room together? How is no one in that? Who's the alpha male in the room? Because you can't all be alpha males.
I've seen a couple of these videos of like you talk about like the how to be alpha kind of guys, like those dudes.
Like,
so that what's the thing? Maybe I can't define what an alpha male is, but I can certainly tell you that if you describe yourself as an alpha male, you're not. Like there's no like if you go like, yeah man, but like I'm alpha, so I'm like no.
But it's like,
no.
How do you
like?
You can't be in the same room as other alphas if you're actually an alpha.
I guess
because somebody has to establish it. I mean, that's how it works. Like if you do the comparison of like lions and stuff. Which one? Let's debunk this whole theory about lions. If you are walking around with a lion tattoo on you, that's super cool. Congrats to you. But also, the whole like theory about like lions being like the most alpha is like super fucking weird. Male lions don't do most of the hunting.
Dude, they're lazy as shit.
It's the female lion that does.
But is that not more alpha than hunting? You get other people to hunt
for you, right? But the whole theory is like, oh, you're an alpha male, so you're supposed to hunt. You're supposed to hunt. It's like, like the lion, you gotta hunt. But it's like the male lion doesn't do most of it. The male lion hunts when he doesn't have a pride, which means that he has already been dominated by another male lion and has been prescribed as the beta. That's why he hunts. The female lion hunts for the alpha. That's how that works. She hunts, she brings back the food, and he eats first.
Yeah.
Yo, like the only reason I bring it up is the whole comparison of like people to animals is like weird. Like, dog, we have a whole society of like social norms. Like, we can't run around talking all this like weird animal kingdom stuff because it's like, I'm not about to walk around to no man, sniff his butt, and then hump him. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Again, it's like it's kind of a joke, but at the same time, it's not. When I say like prison rules, that's where those dynamics apply because they don't have stuff like fucking phones and fast cars and fucking nice clothing. You know, your measure of value and your where you stand in the hierarchy of people is your ability to inflict violence on others and prevent violence from being inflicted on you. It's a thing that I say a lot, actually, because like if you strip everything away, as far as all this superficial bullshit that we have in the world, your ability to do violence is how valuable you are. but we've covered that up over the years, right? Like Jeff Bezos is Jeff Bezos, right? And is ultimately more desirable than me. But if you took everything away from that, and I don't know this because I've never actually stood next to the guy, but like, let's say I punch him in the mouth, and I'm better at punching people in the mouth than he is. I'm now more valuable than him. Like, you know what I mean? But, but that's not the world we live in.
You the richest man in the world, but like, if we threw these hands, I got hands for the ride.
Yeah, right, exactly. like, like Amazon Prime for $10. Well, you can catch these hands for free. Like, that's what happened, right? That's another value, if you ask me. But no, my point is, and I don't want to beat Jeff Bezos up. I don't want this to get interpreted as like, I think I'm better than Jeff Bezos.
We like Jeff.
He seems cool.
He's
shredded as fuck.
Jeff paid half of his fortunes to his ex-wife and became the second richest man in the world. And then by Friday, was back to number one.
All right, so if there is an alpha male, it's Jeff Bezos.
It's only Jeff.
It's
only the Bezos.
It's got to be Bezos. And you gotta be. This dude is so pumped full of exogenous testosterone now. Like, look, people can call me a hater or whatever. I don't give a fuck. That dude is on some kind of testosterone injection of some sort. I'm not saying he's full on like doing roids, but that dude is like jacked and tan and on a yacht, just fucking.
Do we want to create conspiracies? Should we?
But yeah, always.
Last year, he signed a pharmaceutical deal. Amazon will be able to do pharmaceuticals. Last year, what also popped up and was like a really big deal. Trend. Do we think that Jeff Bezos might have played a part in creating Trend?
Well, Trend didn't pop up last year.
I mean, it became popularized last year.
I think that was more of a social media thing too. It's like the whole,
Do we think
the thing about like the dark
Jeff
side
Bezos is trying to popularize Trend so that his first pharmaceutical deal can be with Trend?
Not until it's legal, because you can't make any money. You can't make any money. But like, I don't know, man. I think the popularization of like steroids is more of a social media thing, and people are finally realizing like, oh, it wasn't just grilled chicken and broccoli that did that to you.
Can we also agree that sports would be better if everybody was allowed to do steroids?
Well,
if everybody don't make it unfair by like being like some people are doing it, but like it should be an option. If you all can do steroids and it's an option, you have no reason.
Bro, they all do it.
Like, don't we all want to see superheroes fight each other? Isn't that what Marvel and DC are basically based on?
Yeah, but what I don't want to see is like superhumans murdering their wives.
I don't want to see that, but I would love to see.
We have seen that.
Yeah,
it's happened.
We have, and it's really terrible.
Yeah.
But I would love to see like
the glove didn't fit. But that
just
needle
bring back gladiators.
That needle fit in his glute, I bet.
I would love to see gladiators just come back. Like real gladiators.
Oh, so those guys, well, okay, wait. I thought I thought you were talking about like the what was that, like Spike TV show where they had the like
gladiator show where it was like stuffed out. I think it was called Gladiators.
Was it called American Gladiators? That's what the show was called.
Which was
those dudes were juiced, brother.
For sure.
They were juiced to the tits, and we know it. And it's fine, but that was cool. It's like the WWE, right? Like you watch that wrestling shit, Hulk Hogan. Like, what do you think all those fuckers are balding? Come on.
I mean, they also need it too, because that shit's wear and tear.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've ever like been to a doctor for like natural wear and tear on your body, they prescribe you basic steroids. They're like, hey, you need this steroid for all the inflammation and stuff, so your joint doesn't blow out.
Exactly. So you got your 40-60 rule. I got a 60-40 rule. 60% of professional athletes, if not more, and I'm talking from golf to football to fucking bowling. I don't give a shit. They are on performance-enhancing drugs.
I don't know why, but imagining people juiced up to play golf is so funny.
And they've they've never named names, but there are a shitload of doctors in Florida that are like, I have prescribed performance-enhancing drugs, testosterone, shit like that, to professional golfers.
Golf would be so much more entertaining.
Dude, it would be Happy Gilmore level drives and probably Happy Gilmore level shit going on.
Bro, just like 10,000 yard putts, just off top.
Yeah.
Just like nothing but arms and fucking forearms and.
No, see, you say that it's all in the hips though.
That's true, but I just imagine dudes with like huge arms.
Yeah.
It's just.
It'd be badass.
That'd be fucking funny.
It'd be fucking cool. I'd be down. I'd watch that shit. Can you imagine, like, The thing that's scary about it though is like, and it came up when the whole like trans athlete thing became a hot topic and a controversial thing.
Hey! Before you jump off on this ledge, you ready? You ready
for the hate mail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I'm good with it. Yeah. So all right, cool. I'm not taking a stance that anyone has not already taken. Like, whatever. And I don't have an issue with trans people. I will call you whatever you want to be called. I think it gets a little iffy when we talk about minors having sex change surgeries. I think that's where shit gets weird. But my point is, if you were a dude for 30 years and then you want to get in a combat sport with women, you're a piece of shit for that.
That's basically domestic assault.
That's 100% domestic violence. That's
I'm sorry.
And conversely,
hey man, I know people in the community. I personally don't know any trans people. So if it offends you,
I don't personally know any actually.
If it offends you, the way I think about offense is that's a personal choice. You choose to be offended by words, but
yeah,
the whole like you just naturally produce more testosterone. It's not to say that you can't be whatever you want to be.
It's not just a testosterone.
But you produce more testosterone, so you probably hit harder.
It's
a lot harder.
It's not just that. It's bone structure. It's bone density.
Density, yeah.
It's all these things.
Science doesn't exist anymore.
You know, like it.
Like, it's just,
yeah, there are
like the way I think about it. Like if you're going to advocate for that, right? This should just, and it's not a like discriminatory thing. There should just be another like section for that. Like, there's women's MMA, there's male's MMA. There should just be trans MMA. Like,
yeah.
And I wouldn't. Like, at the end of the day, wouldn't that kind of help? Because now you have a special thing for you.
I would. Yeah, it would. And I would. And
like,
I've heard the argument of like, why don't they just compete in whatever they were biologically born in? The issue with that is if you were a biological female that begins taking testosterone to transition to male, you're competing against women who are not on steroids, brother.
But also, like, you gotta think about it. I'm not calling anything a handicap, but like, there's a reason why there's an Olympics or Paralympics, because it just wouldn't be fair. Like, there's reasons why. No. Like, if we're gonna talk about equality, shouldn't equality be fair? That's what equality means by definition.
Yeah. Or we could settle the whole thing, like you said. Let all the professional sports athletes just do juice, and then we're all good. And then we're not all good. Obviously, the bone density thing is a real thing.
Hey, but at least they got a fighting chance.
But there's definitely professional female fighters on and off of performance enhancing drugs, right?
Yeah.
Like natural ones and non-natural. You know, women who have juiced, women who have taken Anavar, whatever the fuck, and they all whoop my ass. Like, don't get me wrong, but.
Yo, I'm not trying to fight nobody that's been
doing
jiu-jitsu for like 20 years.
If you're a contracted fighter, like, show me the worst fighter in the UFC.
If your amount of experience in wrestling or jiu-jitsu is over double digits, like, I'm good.
Or like anyone born in Stockton. Like, I don't want to fight anyone, like,
anybody that in the middle of a fight would just slap you.
Yeah,
like, if you're good. Yo, shouts out to Nick and Nate.
Yeah. Like, even if you're not in the UFC, but you like go to an MMA gym and you live in Stockton, like, I'm not fucking with you ever. You know?
Straight on that.
But yeah, like
straight on that. I don't need that disrespect in my life.
That's true. That's facts. That's a true thing. But so apparently, was it in California or Washington? One of those Pacific states. They're trying to pass a law so that minors without parental consent can get sex. They don't call it sex change surgery. They call it gender affirmation surgery. I think is what they're calling it now. It's not gender reassignment anymore. It's gender affirmation because it's affirming the gender you feel you are.
Yeah.
Whatever the words mean, I don't really care. You're changing your genitals to the opposite of what they are. But they're trying to make it taxpayer funded, and you as like a minor can get it done before you turn 18 without parental consent at all. There's a reason you can't buy alcohol until you're 21. Because we don't trust you with making decisions.
Like, yo.
You can't vote until you're 18.
Hey, welcome back. You should have filled up your cups.
I did.
Hey, now that we done already jumped off the ledge and got ourselves canceled, we want to talk about something that's a little bit more funny. at least like kind of explorative in nature. I got a question for you, though.
I just thought of a really bad joke. You ever think of a bad joke? And you just say it, but in your head you're like laughing. You're like,
You're like, this is gold.
I shouldn't say this, but it's funny.
That's funny.
You ever do that?
Yeah, a lot.
You just did it.
A lot, like,
alright.
especially social spaces. I'm like, you people wouldn't like this.
I'll giggle to myself, and people be like, what happened? You're like, I think funny things sometimes.
Yeah, like I'm hilarious to myself. You guys would be mad if I did.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You said talking about something a little more funny, and I was like, there is nothing funnier than trans
And that's what got us defunded.
We're not even funded. It's just prevented. Funding.
We're funding ourselves.
We lost the thing, and
we're canceling ourselves. We can't even fund ourselves.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Hey, so let's get a little explorative. I have a question.
Okay.
I've been watching like a lot of nature shit lately because I'm like,
that's pretty neat.
I'm like just trying to chill right now, you know, like get away from all this craziness in the world and stuff. But I also be watching a lot of like science stuff, for lack of a better term. Like everybody's trying to go to space right now, and I keep thinking about it. It just keeps bothering me. Do you think space is more important than deep sea research? Which one do you think is more important? Because I feel like we allocate a lot of money to like going into space, and don't really allocate a lot of money into like getting deeper into like what's actually on this planet.
I would say that they're of equal importance to me, which is not at all, because it has no relevance to my life. No, that's like a facetious, like shitty thing to say. I don't know. I think in terms of how much it costs to develop the ways for us to get to those polar opposite places, I don't know what's more expensive, and I don't know what's more worth like the bang for your buck kind of thing. You know, I know getting down to, what do they say? There's a percentage of the ocean that's not been discovered or like
just like most of it,
like most of
it.
But because of like the pressures that exist, the human body can't go there, so we have to develop these contraptions. Same thing as space, right? Like your human body can't.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they kind of like go hand in hand, because it's like the whole like gravity thing out in space, but also the whole pressure thing in the ocean.
As far as me, like I'm just trying to not suck at riding motorcycles and like be a decent person. So I don't know if like the secrets to that are in either of those places.
Let me ask you a second question then. If you had a choice, which trip would you rather take? The space trip or the deep sea trip?
Space trip. Just for, look at how upset people got over Jeff Bezos going to space. But he didn't really go to space, depending on who you talk to. Fucking whatever. But if I'm the guy that's like, I've been like
deeper, you want the violence.
I've been deeper in the ocean. Well, nobody cares. Like, I've been deeper in the ocean than like the next guy who's
I don't know, man. I kind of want to go to ocean
deeper.
Because like
it's a bold move for you.
This is why I think it's crazy, right?
Aquatics is not typically the strength of the African American population.
Well, I'm also like a really good swimmer.
Yeah.
But
it's like black scuba diver. Like that's not a thing.
I don't know, man. There was
I know they exist. I'm just saying. It's not.
You're trying to get the hate mail.
It's not common.
Max trying to get the hate mail at all times.
Yeah.
But no, man. I just think space exploration is gonna take years before you find life. We already know that there's life deep down in the ocean. I'm low key trying to find like a dinosaur and fight it. There's a
in the sense of like because
there's something there's a
saurus
deep in the ocean somewhere.
Some type of saurus,
yeah, some type of saurus.
Or
there's
like
a saurus down
like
there.
a magical Leopleurodon.
Yeah,
down there.
there's something down there.
Yeah,
Just
the Loch Ness monster's supposed to
just hunting everything, and we're not supposed to go down there and find it. But I want to, low key.
I
ain't even gonna lie.
That'd be pretty badass. Like it's like the best example of dinosaurs that we have walking around here with us are like alligators. That's a fucking dinosaur.
Shits is weird.
Imagine those things breathe air, so they have to be.
Those are dinosaurs.
They can't be
living
down
dinosaurs.
deep. But if there was like a dinosaur type thing that was a fish dinosaur,
It's down there. So
imagine.
We just gotta find it.
Yeah, but it would probably be like, hey, this is basically a great white shark, only 3 feet longer.
Like
you know, like,
but also,
like, all right, cool.
My question is, because there's probably not a lot of them, is it already an endangered species? And if it's not,
it can't be endangered if we don't know about it.
If it's not, am I allowed to hunt it? Imagine being the first person with like the whatever source like mounted in your wall. Like that'd be kind of crazy.
It'd be like if you saw Bigfoot. Like
That'd
if
be
you were out hunting deer.
That'd be alpha.
If I was like hunting deer, right? I got my rifle, my camouflage. I'm doing standard white guy stuff. I'm out there.
I want to take a moment to just like key in on how you like dropped the low key joke and then did it again. But you tapped into both sides of the spectrum.
But like
everybody's a free shot.
Everyone knew what I was talking about when I said it. Like I'm not doing anything crazy, but like I'm out there, I'm in the woods, you know, being in the woods, and I see Bigfoot. Do I take a photograph or do I take the shot?
I take the shot.
You take the shot.
Take the shot.
You take the shot, right?
Fuck yeah.
Because who the fuck's gonna believe you if you don't? If I don't bring Bigfoot's body back and I'm like, look at this dude. And then worst case scenario, it's just a dude in a gorilla suit. And then I'm like, I was in fear for my life. And then they're like, yeah, adds up. All right, cool. You know.
Just low-key drop privilege in there.
Well, yeah. Assuming the person I shoot is in a gorilla suit and he's a white guy, which honestly, it would be a white guy running around the woods in a gorilla suit.
We're not even going to pretend
what other
like
race of people would be doing that?
True.
What other, you know, like...
No one else is putting on the gorilla suit. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Like all the weird internet shit, like the weird, you know, the weird sexual shit
hey,
people
you
are into.
That's white people. The clown thing?
I do.
Just random clowns in the woods?
And what if one of them, they only did it in suburban areas?
Like they would have got shot.
Yeah.
I ain't go cap.
If they had done
that to the hood.
If they'd have done that shit in South Central Los Angeles, they'd have gotten fucking smoked. Like, we all know it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, if you go down that deep, let's say you find, not even a shark, it's like a barracuda variant that's like just dumb huge.
Trying to kill it.
So you gotta make sure in your...
Well, you just gotta like...
Your diving craft has to have weaponry.
It's gotta be like fast, right? Because what you want to do is you want to bait it and then you want to bring it to the surface. Because if it's a deep sea animal, bringing it to the surface is gonna make it weaker, right? Because like the pressure is gonna be different. Now it's not used to dealing with this.
No, dude. What if it's like fucking Superman and you bring it to the surface and it's stronger because it's got less gravity. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely gotta smoke it.
Yeah. Now you have to kill it down there.
It's like, because now it's like,
or better yet, it's halfway down. You find it, you bring it deeper, kill it there.
Smoke Stegosaurus.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. 12 zoologists couldn't save your fucking life. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man. I don't know why I thought about that, but
I like how we made a reference to a song that like
is a real
pretty
thing.
much just you and me are gonna understand. Maybe like a handful of people that watch this, but not many.
That's funny. No, that was just
swim 1,000 miles.
I don't know why I thought about that, bro. I don't know why I thought about that, but that shit was just. What
if instead of walking 1,000 miles, you swam
1,000 miles?
1,000 miles.
Just still want to see. I still want to see.
Yeah.
All right, man.
If I could fall into the sky, except it's the ocean.
If I could fall into the deep sea.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into something that's actually been bothering us now. Let's break away from like.
I have been the most bothered by the lack of deep sea exploration. Actually, that's the most.
You just been donating to the cause.
I've been extremely perturbed.
It's been hurting.
I am apoplectic at the fact that they have not explored all of the ocean.
Yo, that's an SAT word, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Let's get into this, man, because like this is real life. Me and you actually deal with this, dog. So we relaunch.
You mean being like racially discriminated against?
No, we already talked about all that.
Oh.
We're gonna put that to the side. We'll get into that in the next episode. I don't feel like crying today. So we relaunched, right?
Okay.
Back on YouTube, shooting podcasts.
We're here.
We're back on IG. We're about to really get it cracking over there on the platform. Go check us out.
Hope so.
But immediately after relaunching, man, I got so many DMs on our page. By so many DMs, I mean like 5. Because I ain't really that popular yet. We gonna get it there though.
That's a lot. If I open my phone to 5 DMs, like if I turn my phone over right now and there's 5 DMs, I'm like, whoa, that is a lot. For me. If I was like a chick, that wouldn't be very many.
Probably not.
But anyway, sorry, I keep derailing the conversation. Continue.
But they were all pretty much the same DM. It was like, you want to see the kitty cat? You want to see the cheeks clap? Yeah. And it was like, nah, I don't. But also because I know you're a robot.
Yeah, like you're not a real person.
Yeah, how do we feel about this, man? Like,
did any of them say the bigger the fupa, the tastier the chalupa?
I hope not. I ain't read most of them. To be honest, again, we said this in the last episode, man. I'm in a like healthy, happy relationship. I ain't checking for nothing, nothing.
Same. I see that shit and I'm like, yeah, get fucked.
Like, get out of here. Also, like, that's way too aggressive as an approach. Also, that sounds like you want money from me, and I ain't spending my money on nothing. But where are we at right now? It's 2022, right?
Who's still falling for this is the real question. Because it's the same. There's either a misspelling or a grammatical mistake. It's a woman that is too hot to be real. And
she got 3,000 followers, but 0 posts.
0 posts. She's hot in like a superficial way, too. It's not like, you're definitely not a real person. So who is still...
It's like you're a whole...
Why are they still fishing? Because I think that's the actual...
Bitch.
Like with the PH, they're fishing, right? That's a fishing attempt. But like, why are they... Who is still falling for this?
I don't know, man. But like, why does this even exist? Like, because it not only bothers me on Instagram, it bothers me in metrics when like people have artificial numbers because they just got fake people on their accounts. Mm-hmm. But even more so, and this is where my heart hurts, because you know I like a dope sneaker. Yeah, it bothers me on all the sneaker apps because robots be getting on my sneakers before I can cop.
Well, there's people that actually have robots set up for stuff like sneakers and PS5s
we need some
and all that
robots.
shit.
We gotta get us some robots.
And they snag, when stuff becomes available, they're set, they're programmed. It's like our last conversation where you said, like, does the alpha male exist? No one envisions the small, poor posture, neckbeard guy as being an alpha male, but he has all the Air Jordans because of his programming ability. So maybe
he's selling them for like $5,000 a pop.
Yeah,
there was $250 when they came.
And he's getting it. You know how you know they're worth $5,000? Somebody bought them for $5,000. So
facts.
So, Yeah.
Where do you think it's the most annoying though? You think it's the most annoying on social media, just dealing with it, or you think it's the most annoying in like the whole atmosphere of like purchases? Because me personally, it bothers me that I can't buy shoes and shit because robots be buying them before me, even though robots don't have feet most of the time. But it bothers me more on Instagram. I ain't even gonna cap.
I'm gonna say it bothers me more on Instagram, but it's really only because it's an inconvenience. It's the thing I get distracted with that I have to just hit delete on. It's just a couple of seconds out of my day.
Leave me alone.
It doesn't bother me on the purchase side of things because to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever been the kind of guy like itching to grab something that just came out. And this isn't some attempt at me being like, I'm not materialistic. I'm like a laid back guy. I'm more about the here and now. It's just that I'm purely not interested in sneakers that way. Yeah. I dress like in stereotypical hipster white dude fashion. I wear boots and flannels and trucker hats and beanies. I could be a lumberjack. I could just be some hipster fuck.
Hey, run up our numbers so I can buy my homie a pair of J's.
Depending on I would probably wear them.
Definitely.
But I would wear them incorrectly. You know what I'm saying?
You look like a Jordan 3 guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've owned 2 pairs of Air Force Ones in my life.
Ooh.
2 of them.
Were they black Air Force Ones?
Nah, I need those. But only because of the memes. But I have had all white Air Force Ones. I wore those in high school. That was cool. That was in 2011, 2012. Everybody thought those were tight. And then I had a pair that were white except for they had a blue check and blue around I don't know the name for it. I'm not even wearing shoes right now. But my sock game is on point. It's a part that goes around the
sole.
Yeah. Not the sole, but above the sole, but below the rest, around the toe piece. I had the blue on there because I was tired of the white on white, so I bought those. But anyway, those weren't like a thing that was super desirable. I've never tried to be the guy that's as soon as these drop, I gotta buy it. I've just never done it, so I've never experienced the pain of a bot stealing that joy from me. So I guess I don't really know. I'm not the right guy to ask, I guess.
I feel you on that. But yeah, I feel like bots been fucking up the game.
I have been told several times via different websites that there are single moms in my area that want to talk to me. And
that's also
as
creepy.
It turns out that's not true. Maybe I think 2 single moms have ever wanted to talk to me. Yeah, 2 of them. So, yeah, no. But it is annoying and it is weird. My question is, they're still, well, it's not even a question. They're still doing it. The bot thing, hey, subscribe to me on this and I'll show you my vagina. Or whatever. That's the gist of it. Give me money and I will send you nudes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Those I've had those come up on Instagram. They creep through on Snapchat every now and then too. I don't know if you even still use Snapchat.
Nah, I ain't got the Snap.
I probably shouldn't because I'm about to be 28 years old. Who the fuck uses Snapchat after the age of 24?
I ain't got the Snap.
Yeah, but it does happen. And it's happening obviously because it still works. And I think if that kind of thing, if you still fall for that kind of thing, you probably deserve to. At this point, it's one thing if you call. This happened to my grandparents. If you call my grandparents are 75, 76, right? If you call them and you somehow squeeze a social security number out of them, that's because they don't know any better and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
If you squeeze a social security number out of somebody under the age of 30 via a phone call, they deserve to be robbed.
Yeah. You're a walking lick.
And I think it's the same thing with
You're
Instagram.
a whole walking lick.
If you're an Instagram user and you fall for that, you deserve it. So you know what? Player's gonna play, hustler's gonna hustle. Let them do it. Let them do their, whatever. I'm gonna keep archiving those chats, denying those requests. Not even the sex ones though. The most irritating ones are the follow. I get a follow request from a person that whose name and photo I don't recognize, and you click, and what are they always doing?
The ones that you don't follow. For me, it's always hey man, we're looking for an ambassador for our brand. It's
so you got targeted shit for that because you're a fashionable dude. I get the fucking follow requests from people that are earn $10,000 a month on cryptocurrency, and I'm like,
yo, shout out my boy Ant, man. Shout out my boy Sinclair. He had one of the hardest lines ever in a freestyle we dropped. He said, "I'm gonna get rich doing crypto, or I might still slap a clip in though."
Oh wow!
I don't know why that shit was so hard to me.
I mean, yeah, follow us fails. The tried and true method.
And that's how they really be on Instagram. It's yo, come sell this crypto, or else I'm gonna harass you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gotten so many, it's probably...
That shit funny.
I'd say they don't happen every day, but I will say 5 a week, because occasionally I'll open and there's 3 people that are crypto experts that have all the secrets, or they want me to
figure out how to flip.
They want
NFTs.
me to invest in flip houses and shit. I'm like, yo, you can just fuck off, baby. How about that?
How about you're so successful at it. Why waste your time bothering me?
Why are you doing it? Yeah.
It's you could have flipped the whole house in the time that you took.
It's like those dudes that do the self-help seminars, or this is how you could become rich, and people pay money to go watch these people speak, and then they go, hey, you buy my book for $100, I have all the secrets in here, and it's well, if you had all the secrets, you wouldn't be here talking to me at a Ramada Inn. So.
Oh, the Ramada.
Yeah, what's up?
Ramada.
I'll talk shit on Ramada. I don't give a fuck.
The Ramada.
You know what Ramada Inn's for?
Late night sketchy shit.
Late night sketchy shit. That's a nicer thing than what I was about to say, but yeah. Look at that.
But yo, it's been another episode of The Saga. Episode 2. Boys is back in the building. We're doing what we do. Share, comment, like. Go follow us on IG, TheSagaPod. Drop comments. Let us know what's going on. Run up the numbers. We out.
Or don't.
Forever. You gotta play the music.